Oh, it's good to see everybody again. Yeah, I see you and I see you. I see you all through my magic psychedelic mirror that's built into my camera. All it takes is a few puffs and I see the camera, and then I see all the faces inside the camera. How's everybody doing this week? Why do I ask that? As if I was sitting in the same room with you and then you were saying, well, Chris, I'm fine. Actually, I'm feeling fairly ungroovy these days. I don't know if it's just me or it's just that I pay too much attention to all the bad news, and I lock myself down here in Armpit Studio to get away from it, and I turn on my computer and what do I see? More bad news everywhere. Well, no matter how bad things get, we can at least have each other, at least temporarily, for now, for a few minutes at a time in the tubular universe. And peace and love to everybody. If Ringo Starr can get away with it at 80, I can get away with it at my advanced age, which is nowhere near 80. Although he doesn't even have white hair or anything. I think there's a lot of Grecian formula thing going on there, but you know, he's got the money, so what the heck. And it's Ringo. Yeah, everybody loves Ringo, right? Except when he sings. But that's okay. Gonna blow us all up either with CERN or with nuclear weapons or whatever the hell they decide to do. It's not up to us. All we can do is fight back peacefully. And when I say fight peacefully, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe people should start giving out flowers on the corner again, you know, and here, please take a flower. And some people will spit on you and probably grind the flower into the dust, but then you just smile and you hand them another flower. Wouldn't that be cool? All these people that have all this hatred and rage built up in them, and you just get all these people starting a movement where they go up and they just hand people flowers and say, hey, peace, brother. Yes, I have fantasies of restarting this horrible movement called the Hippies, and I've fantasized about it. I've watched all the movies lately, and I watched this old film and it's on YouTube. If you look it up, you can find it. The Hippie Temptation from 1967, and it's a very moralistic look at the hippie culture and how horrible it was at the time. And you got to remember, it was a small movement, and of course the cultural impact that it had was far beyond the numbers that were actually hippies. But you've got to fight. You've got to fight against all the negativity, all the evil in the world, and don't let it bury you. You've got to center yourself, and you've got to just kind of mellow and be groovy and say, okay, so all this chaos is going on around me. What am I going to do about it? What positive thing in my little sphere of influence can I do? And some of us can do little things, and little things add up to bigger things. And before long, the whole culture is changed. And is it a good thing? Well, it can be. Well, the decade of the 70s was kind of there was still a remnant of the hippie culture around, and I spent time hitchhiking everywhere and meeting new people, and there were a lot of freaks, man. And by the 80s, you started to see in advertising, well, we're all coming back to normal now. I remember seeing this ad in a magazine, and I probably find it somewhere if I really dug, but it's hardly worth it. But it was this picture of like a guy as a hippie, and then all dressed in a three-piece suit and everything, and then it said, sooner or later, you all come back to basics. Like, and it was ads like this, and then it was the drug war. Oh, the drug war, the terrible drug war. How many people ended up in jail over that, over nonviolent offenses against society? I think people should have the right to inner freedom, the freedom to do with your body what you decide is right for you, and nobody has a right to throw you in jail for that. But that seems to be the whole thing lately about controlling particularly women's bodies. If they dare to step out of line and decide that, no, I wish to have full control over my body. And there are always those who say, no, I control your body. You don't control your body. But you do. If you're an individual, you should have a right to control your body. It seems as simple as anything to me. It's the same thing with religions and people pushing their own particular brand of, selling tickets for God. And who, as an adult, has the right to tell another adult what to believe or how you should live? Or as long as you're not hurting anybody else, then it's entirely up to you as an individual. If you want to follow a certain moral code or a certain religion, you have the freedom to do that. If you don't, pretty soon you're not going to have the freedom to pursue what truth is for you. And we're all adults. We can all decide for ourselves what is right. Sooner or later, people come to accept what works for them and what doesn't, and that's the way it should be. Not outside groups telling you somehow you've got to live this way because I live this way and everybody should live this way. It's nuts. It's nuts, I tell you. I know it's been a while since I published the video because I have to recharge my creative batteries from time to time. It takes me a lot of effort to make these and put them together, and of course very little reward, so the motivation isn't always there, but I try and keep it regular and to put out 1 or 2 videos every week. And I do it because I've made so many friends on here, and I love all of you people, and that's a nice thing to say. I love you. And so many people say I love you, and it means nothing. Every channel says, I love all you guys. Yes, as long as I can get my ad revenue, I love you. Keep loving me so I can get the ad revenue. I don't care about ad revenue. I have said it before, this channel has absolutely no commercial potential. So I just look at it the same way as I look at a painting or something that somebody's done that nobody pays any attention to, and then decides in 20 years after the person's dead that, hey, that was pretty good, that's amazing, let's publish a book and make some money out of it. And unfortunately, it's an old story and it happens over and over again. Creativity is never rewarded in our society. Jumping on bandwagons or popular stuff and fake stuff, and everything's fake now. It's like even AI is doing music and it's fake music and there's nothing in it, it's just the machines taking over human creativity, and we can't have humans being creative because they might come up with subversive ideas. I don't think we are terribly subversive people, hippies. I think we are loving people who want the best for everybody. And there's a certain amount of hypocrisy that comes with every movement. And it doesn't mean that the movement is worthless or stupid. Well, a lot of people would say, yes, you're trying to relive your youth, you're still a hippie. No, I never grew up. I never wanted to grow up. Hell, yeah, I had to. More wildfires, particularly here in Canada, and they're trying to do something about climate change for now, until we axe the tax, which is the opposition leader, who is a scary dude, and he's hooked up with all these right-wing idiots that are trying to turn back the clock, and axe the tax is his big thing, and the carbon tax, it's terrible. Well, anybody that's under a certain amount of income, like high income in Canada, gets a rebate for this carbon tax. You pay a little bit extra. I think it's something like 5 cents a liter or something like that on your gasoline. And even this small thing is just too much for people to bear. It's too much of a hardship for those making over 100,000 a year. But for us plebes and normal people, we get more back than we put into it, which is why they're so upset about it and they want to axe the tax. Because somehow, I mean, we've got a lot of troubles up here. We've got wildfires burning out west, and it's only May, and I can't imagine what it's going to be like by July. It's going to be a really hot, dry summer. But we don't care about those things. We just care about getting cheap gasoline. That's the important thing, right? Yeah. My disgust may be showing a little bit, and I'm sorry, because I try and love everybody. But some people make it very difficult. You know, the politicians and business leaders, and everything's turning into a corporate-owned disaster. There's no more mom and pop businesses left anywhere, because mom and pop have been chased out and bought out and sold down the river because of big corporations. Like landlords, big corporate landlords. Yes, they are buying up houses because they're the only ones that can afford a house these days, and they're renting them out. They want everything. They want all of your money, every last dime. They don't want any independent people, any people making money outside the system, because this is a big threat to them. Well, I say, screw it and to hell with them. We are going to engage in peaceful revolution, whether they like it or not. Peaceful. That's the buzzword here. And you know, it doesn't look very good when peaceful protesters are attacked by mobs of jackbooted thugs who beat them up. It's not a good look for people, you know? I think that perhaps the media, if they were honest, would cover more of the injustices going on. But they're not honest because they're owned. Everything is owned, lock, stock, and barrel. Everything. It's owned by giants, oligarchs, corporations, billionaires. The amount of inequality is unbelievable in society. And if you look at history, you will see that democratic societies fare far better than autocratic societies where oligarchs rule, such as what we have now. Yeah, well, that usually is a good way to cause everything, collapse of everything, because when the rich get all that money from making the earth filthy, there's no incentive for them to stop. And what worries do they have? The world is on fire, they're going to go to their bunker and hang out for a while. Won't be able to get out, and they'll go crazy, and they'll get claustrophobic, and radiation will come through their ventilation holes and kill them anyway. That's just a fantasy. The fantasies I have these days, they just never stop. What else can an old man do but dream dreams? Dream of what could have been, what should have been, what could possibly be again if we just changed what's in our hearts. If we just dropped the hatred. If we just stopped it. But it's almost impossible now. It's like this juggernaut of fascism rolling across the earth, tearing up everything in its path, rolling in destruction, and it's raining down fire on people's heads and burning the earth up. But that's okay, because I'm feeling cool, I'm feeling groovy, I'm able still to, for now, talk to you people in the tubular universe and get some sense of I'm not alone out here. I'm not alone in the universe, although we're all really alone in one sense or another. Anyway, wow, I mouthed off a lot and said very little. Well, I guess that's normal for me. Oh yeah, don't forget to comment, and if you haven't subscribed, well, of course everybody has to ask you, but I'm not going to be one of those people who goes on it. Before we get further along in the video, please like and subscribe this video because I want to make advertising money. No, I'm not. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for anything. I'm not here really. I'm sort of there, and I'm there, and I'm up there, and down there. I'm all over the place. So, peace, love, all that stuff. Good night.